I hate to break the fishing news after Remchuck, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep. All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Episode 289 of the Real Life Podcast is underway. This is it. This is the podcast. I'm Tyler Remchuck, Wanye, Jay, Chalmers, Bag Milk, all here. Bag Milk is literally just connecting to this as he eats an OMG. While he's doing that, I'll let you know that this is brought to you by the HGA Group. Take your business to the next level. They are built to serve you better. The HGA Group. This is going to be a business-ish episode of the Real Life Podcast because coming up at in like 25 minutes, we're going to be joined by Trent Wilhauk. Wilhauk Beef Jerky. You've seen them. If you've tasted them, then you love them. We'll talk to Trent about a bunch of stuff.
That sounded weird.
I need to know the secret. I need to know the secret.
Tasted them, you love them? I don't know how that flies.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. If you've tasted them, like EM, like M, tasted them. Tasted them. If you've tasted them. Oh, well.
I don't know if Trent Wilhauk wants people to come up and lick his arm shit. Your Remchuck told me to.
Okay.
Your Remchuck, I would like to speak to you briefly before the show gets off the ground about our new intros we're recording.
Yes.
Now, you sent out some clips, and they're great, and they're hilarious. And I said to you, I would like probably A-plus pricing cameo person to record for the show. And you said, there's no way we're allowed to spend that kind of money on a cameo. No.
Well,
so now I want to talk to Jay and say, Jay, what have I told you that the only difference between me now and me having everything I want in life is $299 US away? Would you want to help me cross that bridge?
Here's my argument on this, if I can chime in. If we have the budget in this podcast to let me professionally mix and master the new intros and get them professionally voiced as well, if we can do that, and we have enough budget to get Soulja Boy for almost $400 Canadian.
Damn it, you Remchuck! You weren't supposed to say who or the price. You fuck. Anyways, what do you mean professionally mastered? Don't we already have them professionally mastered?
Yeah, because I buy the guy who runs in the big studio at the radio station that professionally mixes down the radio commercials. Yeah. I bring him a case of beer to do it for me, but I think that's wearing a little thin on him.
That's why he doesn't like beer anymore.
We'll pay for the beer. We'll make it 2 cases of beer. Jeez, come on, you're Chuck. Improvise.
What would Soulja Boy do?
For a case of beer? Probably not a lot.
I invented podcasts. Why do you guys have a podcast? I invented them. Back when I invented Drake and rap.
Stealing my flow.
I could
bar for bar.
I could advertise $299 US Soulja Boy cameo over the intro for this podcast, an Oodle Noodle ad, and anybody's voicemail that they want, right? He won't realize if you have a script that says real life that he's voicing a podcast intro, right? If you could be like, hey man, we just want you to like give a shout out to our buddy for the birthday. And he's like, this ain't fake, this is real life. Get yourself some Oodle Noodle. Happy birthday, Keith, or whatever bullshit we give him. We now have Soulja Boy saying Oodle Noodle on tape. We now have him saying this is real life on tape. I don't know, man. $299 US doesn't seem like that much for me to be the happiest man on earth.
It's how you chop it up. It's how you chop it up and push it out. You'll be
imagine Soulja Boy sued Oodle Noodle, Jay, because we had a Soulja Boy Oodle Noodle bootleg ad, and that the news is like Soulja Boy sues restaurant chain over cameo they made into an ad. No such thing as bad PR.
That's fair. You'll be excited to know we're working on a new jingle for Oodle Noodle, and I think you are going to thoroughly enjoy what we're sampling. And I think here's the hint. I think you're thoroughly going to enjoy it because I knew this. You were a big driver of this, and OG Nation community will also really enjoy it because we used this a lot back then. So I can't wait to hear what it sounds like. But I got sent a YouTube video being like, I think this might be a little old, but like if you're willing to get wacky, this is what I'm thinking. And I'm like, oh, nice. God, all I can think about is I'm like, Wanye is gonna love this.
Oh, nice! I love Oodle Noodle. I'll go twice as much. What about a Soulja Boy intro, Jay? What would you say? They're like, oh, sorry, just working on my podcast with famed recording artist Soulja Boy.
Wow. I have a lot of fantastic memories in my life that are connected to Soulja Boy music.
Yes. Chalmers, we could have him say something about chumming. You could be like, fuck you, Soulja Boy. Why'd you get involved in my Chumgate shit? We can make him say anything we want for $300. That's power.
I'm scared to take my mute off. Can you hear how bad it's raining where I am right now?
Nope.
No, not really, actually.
Okay, good. Okay, because it is
a little bit
boring.
Oh boy.
Where are you? You're on the West End?
I'm over in the south side. I'm in the Riverbend area of Edmonton, and it just started coming down.
I'm a little bit nervous for my tea time on the West End later on this evening, so we'll see.
Yeah, doesn't look good, Ramchuk. Doesn't look good.
No,
it's not looking great for me. Anyways, sorry, what?
But no, I was gonna say we missed our last baseball practice for my U11 team last night because of rain, and we have the first game of the season on Saturday at Tiger Gold Stick Park.
Woo!
Double header, your Chuck.
I love it. Are you like head coach? Like you making lineups?
So no, I'm not making lineups. I am an assistant coach, and I'm one of three. Sorry, there's 4 coaches altogether. So my job is going to be either a first or third base coach, or I will be in the bullpen counting pitches for warm up. They're really strict about counting pitches.
Even for warm ups now?
Yeah, so we have to count like the total amount of pitches they will pitch in one day, warm up or game, and then corresponding to how many pitches they throw, we have to give them that many days rest of pitching.
Yeah.
So it's good though. It's good. Like I really like it. I read the rules last night, and like the real rules were sent to us, and there's a couple there that I was a little surprised about that were a little different than just normal baseball. So first and third base coach got to be on his toes.
Yeah. When I was umping, there was a tournament. I didn't ump this game, but I talked to the guy who did. And because the pitch count rule's been around forever, right? Like if you throw 80 pitches, you need 4 days rest, and it all works out in different ways. And this team, I think it was Sherwood Park, they had a kid who could throw with both hands. He was ambidextrous. So he comes in Saturday morning, guns 80 pitches with whatever arm it was, and his lights out. And later, or the next day, they put him in, and they're like, no, you can't. He has to rest for 4 days. And they were like, no, he's throwing with his left arm. Show us the rule. Why can't he?
Wow. If you want to win,
that's a weapon.
That's a weapon so bad that you're going to put a kid in to throw both arms out in a weekend. That's a bit much. Don't you agree?
No kidding. He was not allowed to pitch, by the way. The rule is it was not based on players' arms. It was based on the player themselves. So he wasn't allowed to pitch. But I remember back in my minor ball days, that being a major pain in the ass.
What does double Tommy John surgery look like, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, Chalmers. Anyways, the reason I wanted to ask, so you're third base coach. If you are third base coach, will you be giving out signs like a good baseball third base coach?
So it's gonna be very. So last night, actually, it's funny. We were supposed to work on like signs for base running. We've been working on base running a lot, but on Wednesday we were really gonna key in on 2 factors: sliding and signs from the base coaches. So we didn't do that, obviously. So it's gonna be a real quick tutorial.
Was that a sign right there, Chalmers?
The take off my hat, rub my head.
Yeah, was that a sign? No,
that could be a sign.
For some reason, I saw you do that, and I felt compelled.
Yeah,
to
he just takes off across the house running.
So I think that they're really trying to not allow kids to steal all that much, because we're not allowed lead off in U11, and the player cannot leave the base until the ball has crossed the plate, not left the hand of the pitcher, but crossed the plate. So I mean, I'm not going to be getting these kids to steal all that much. That's a pretty easy throw from catcher to second, even when the guy's just leaving, right?
The problem is if you allow leadoffs and allow them to leave, then you have to work in box, and box are like a pain in the ass to teach kids that young. And also what happens is they just steal every base because the kids are too fast for like the little catcher and all that gear to like lob it down there.
I know. I have totally noticed that when the kids get into a rhythm and they're like really going quick, a lot of times they balk on by accident. You know what I mean?
Oh,
They just don't take that second to stop. So
When
no, I like the rule, but mostly all it's going to be doing is just being their eyes behind them for when they're running to third, whether or not they should continue on to home or just stand up, stop. You know?
When I was in Pee Wee, so whatever that is, 10, 11 years old, and we were doing base stealing practice, and my job in the drill was to stand at second base, catch the ball, tag the guy coming in. And this kid, his name was Cody. He slid in, and when his wrist hit the base, it snapped it in half.
Whoa.
And I went down, and I went to go tag him, and I looked, and his wrist looked like a little like a mountain, like an upside down V. And I was like, oh my God.
Still tag him out though?
No.
Oh.
Because we wore like blue Under Armour shirts, and
So
they
he
were
was
like
safe?
tight. Well, he was safe, but like
Oh,
the
good
blue
one.
Under Armour shirt was like popped straight up, and I was like, oh my God. Like I'm squeamish as an adult. I was squeamish as a child as well. And he like very calmly just walked off, and my dad was the coach, and he goes, Coach Ross, I think my arm is broken. And my dad was like, what? No, it's not. And my dad looked and was like, holy fuck, your arm is broken. It was wild.
That's awful. That's awful. I would have been I wouldn't even know what I would have done as a kid if I saw that, because I am squeamish with the best of them. The worst, here's might be the best for other people, but the worst part about coaching U11 like AA ball is that we have to wear full outfits as coaches, full uniform.
Oh yeah.
I got white.
Send us photos.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my God.
Then I have to go get hemmed with a jersey.
Oh my God.
And you know what's great is, I mean, I'm not the tallest fellow in the world, average height of 5'7", for a male average height of 5'7". But these jerseys were definitely purchased for 6 feet. like people
Wear
6
one of the kids' jerseys.
Yeah. I think I'd rather wear the long one and get made fun of for looking like a dress than wear one of the kids' jerseys and it fits.
Tell them you're in the late 1990s and it's Atlanta and you're wearing like an old school giant throwback jersey.
Oh yeah,
Rocket is your style. Own it.
Like Manny Ramirez in his big jammer pants. I love those.
Oh yeah,
man,
just sick. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so it should be fun. So that's like, this rain, good for some things. Should really green up, man. Is it ever green? And I just love that. That's like my favorite thing about the spring.
I want to give, first off, Wanye dropping a Man Ram reference reminded me of my favorite moment from our weekly Nation meeting this week, where Wanye dropped a Rocket Ismail reference in the middle of the meeting.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Who says he doesn't know football?
Yes. I told that story to somebody else. I was like, you want to hear a crazy fuck? Oh, to Gregor. I was like, Gregor, I worked Rocket Ismail into our meeting. He's like, I'm surprised you know who Rocket Ismail is. He said.
Right.
Do you remember what team he played for?
Toronto Argonauts. I remember everything.
Yeah.
Do you know where he played college? Do you know your answer?
I'd guess Bama, because I know he was a big deal.
I think it was Notre Dame.
Okay.
I think he played for Notre Dame.
Like Rudy.
And what was his first name? Raheem?
No, there was two. There was Pocket Rocket and Rocket.
Yeah, his brother.
Kid.
Yeah. I had a poster of him. It was such a big deal. I had a poster of Rocket Ismail on my wall.
Raheem Ismail.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raheem Rocket Ismail.
And then the brother was the Pocket Rocket. Ramchek, the fact you brought that up with the podcast,
the Pocket Rocket was Henri Richard, which is the Rocket's brother, Maurice Richard.
Oh, you're thinking of Quadri. Quadri was
there two Pocket Rockets? Your Ramchek?
He was called the Missile.
Wanye, forget your whole $2.99 on Soulja Boy. How about $125 for Rocket Ismail?
Oh, I don't know, because I was thinking with Soulja Boy, if we had an extra sentence, we could get him to spit a bar and then technically make a new song featuring Soulja Boy at some point in our lives. I don't know if I really want to hear Raheem Ismail rap. I'm amazed he thinks he's worth $125. What the fuck?
That is kind of funny. Anyways,
for $150, he'll come on our meeting.
I was stunned when he pulled out that reference. And to tie it back to the Oilers, wasn't he an Argo at the time when Gretzky owned the Argos or part owned the Argos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
John
so. Yeah.
Candy.
John Candy.
Remember those days, Chalmers, when the CFL's like, we're going to show the NFL who the real big dick swinging is in the football game. Come here, Rocky Ismail. And the NFL was like, we can't do anything. We're powerless.
Classic.
Oh yeah, that was great. And it just makes me think about, like, if Wayne Gretzky actually goes on TNT, do we think he's going to be good?
No.
Yes. Oh.
I don't think he's going to be a great TV analyst. I don't think breaking down the game is Wayne's specialty. His presence alone will make it cool and intriguing to tune in.
The Americans need names. They need star power. He's the biggest star in the game.
Okay. Oh, I got another thing. When you say star power, I just saw an advertisement for Kess's house, Ryan Kessler.
Yeah.
And this guy, do you know who he has on his show, the first episode on Sportsnet?
It's
Post Malone.
Post Malone. Post Malone.
I don't get it.
Really? He must know him. He must know him.
I think Post Malone's liquor is the main sponsor of that episode.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it wasn't a thing where like,
9.
yeah, where Sportsnet was like buying ad of this Maison 9 and was like, hey, we'll give you a whole episode of this new show if Post Malone does a 10-minute video call with Ryan Kessler from his house.
Wow.
So
I love Post Malone, and I could not think of a show I want to watch less than Kess's house.
Yeah.
This reminds me of when we had Soulja Boy do our intro.
How?
I don't know. Hip hop sport fusion.
Okay. Well, question. Anybody know what the premise of Kess's house is? Because I think I saw an Instagram post from Jeannie Bouchard, our Canadian tennis star, who goes on it and says, I had such a great time at Kess's house. I think they literally just go to his house.
Yes.
And he's got like batting cages and like beer pong and like a mini golf like course and like all this different stuff. Is what the hell? What an idea. This is great. I just couldn't be with a
social
more
distance
unlikable
friendly,
person.
right?
Yeah.
It's social distance friendly. It's better than watching yet another Zoom.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it's with like literally the most unlikable person in sports other than Sean Avery.
And like even in the promo video of him and Post Malone, Kessler doesn't come off as like fun or like endearing. At one point, he's just like, "Did we just become best friends, Posty?" And it's like, okay, that's seems cringy.
He's like sitting at the bar while Post's behind the bar, like mixing drinks, of course, with Maison 9.
We gotta get you to a hockey game, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like,
really? That's what it's. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like good content or anything. I saying that though, Kess's house is probably gonna be one of those shows that Sportsnet airs at like, midnight Mountain Time in random points in the summer. So I'll be like coming home drunk, eating food, turning on the TV and being like, oh, look, that episode with Post Malone is on again, and watch it for like a fourth time. I bet you it'll be just rerun content for them.
Are you having a summer where you get to get drunk and eat food, you think, in your mind?
Well, I've been doing that for a while. That doesn't, eating chicken McNuggets on my couch after drinking 12 beers in my buddy's backyard. That pandemic or not, that shit goes down.
Wanye,
yes, sir.
Today, me and you could go walk into the Pint and have a beer together and have lunch.
Yes, we could indeed.
So why wouldn't it be Drunk Boy Summer, and why wouldn't we be eating food afterward?
Because it's Alberta moving into phase 2 1 year after they also moved into phase 2.
It depends what you think is happening and what you think is going to happen, I suppose.
Yeah.
Don't be cynical now.
Cynical. I haven't been wrong throughout this entire thing, Chalmers. And that has not been a gift. That has been a curse.
All right. I'm going to quickly hop in here and talk about our friends at Neo Financial, a better way to spend, save, and get rewarded. Savings accounts starting at 1.30% interest, no minimum balance. Check them out, Neo Financial. They got a sleek, good-looking, easy-to-use app as well. We're going to be talking to Trent Wilhauk right away from Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Here's what I'll say quickly. The Devin Shore signing has this fan base freaking the hell out. And I know, Chalmers, you wouldn't care.
I loved it.
I love it. What is wrong with people? That sign
the minimum sign. Yeah,
it's such a cheap bet. It's like we signed him for 9 years and $9 million.
Well, but at the same point, first of all, Oilers fans are the best. We are one depth signing away always from losing our shit, and that makes me laugh. I love it very, very much. The only thing is, it depends. I was watching the reactions last night and overreactions on either side of the aisle. And what was fun is you could really see how much people either believe in analytics fully, a little bit, or not at all. If you're really, really analytics heavy in how you evaluate players, this was probably the worst signing you could have done. Zach Lang posted a bunch of the analytics in the article for the announcement, and they're not good. They're not good. But
shut up, everybody. How's that sound? There's an analytic for you.
It's a cheap bet on a guy who's a fourth liner. And the problem is going to be is if he plays above the fourth line. If Devin Shore is above the fourth line, then we have a problem. But if he's not, and he's just playing, 8-9 minutes a night and killing penalties, then,
Listen, nobody's more upset to see a number 14 on the Oilers than me. And even I think Devin Shore is a fine signing at that price. Everybody needs to just shut the fuck up. If we're one depth signing at a league minimum salary for 2 years away from you blowing your stack, you might be a little bit too tightly wound.
We're all tightly wound.
I would like to clarify one thing. When your Remchuk says that I am not interested in this signing, that is 100% false. I am interested in this signing.
I don't believe you.
Here's the difference between the things I am interested in and the things that I am not. I am interested in the things that have happened, tangible things I can see and touch. Mm-hmm. I am not, however, interested in speculation or things that are people's opinions on what might happen. Mm-hmm. There is where the difference lies in what I am interested in. Here's why I'm interested in the Devin Shore signing, because if Oilers fans are going crazy about this, they are wrong. We just signed a guy for league minimum, and
is that league minimum? I have no idea.
It's $100K above league minimum.
Oh, is okay. Not a big deal. But what Bag Milk said was people are looking at the analytics. They're looking at this. They're looking at that. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at the fact that he came in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals and made a difference in a way. He played harder than guys like that. Sorry, not finals, the playoffs.
He's in the future.
You know that I make those mistakes in the playoffs against Winnipeg.
Don't correct me when I'm ranting.
When he came in, he played well. He was hitting bodies. He was creating turnovers. He was getting opportunities. He played better. He played above what I expected a lot of people that are better than him to play. So do I like this? Do I think he could become more of a depth player that can help us in the future? I don't know. But if we have to find out, this is a pretty goddamn good price to find out at.
Yeah, the argument, to play devil's advocate, the argument against him is that whenever he was on the ice, he was outscored and outshot by a 2-1 margin.
Well, we're going to look at numbers.
I mean, how many players on every team are like that? Like, if you went to every NHL hockey team, not many.
Like that's damning. Like that is kind of damning, right? So, but at the same time, like Chalmers isn't wrong with what he said. Like,
no, he's not.
The guy brought in some sandpaper and some sandpaper and effort when we desperately needed it. But like, and to Bagmo's point, he's being paid to be a fourth liner. He better be a fourth liner.
Yes.
Is it a one-way deal?
Yeah, but you can still bury the entire cap hit if you send him to Baco.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It doesn't work. That's how safe this is.
Yeah.
Just bury the contract.
I personally
no, go ahead.
I personally wasn't annoyed by it as much as a lot of people were. It just, the things that were questionable to me is why a second year, I guess. Not that it's a big deal, but like, I feel like you can find a bunch of players like this through waivers, generally speaking. But I mean, it is what it is, right?
Ennis, Archibald, and Shore, in my mind, are all good bottom six forwards.
Yeah.
They're not going to change the course of the game, but like, in a world where not a lot of people show a lot of energy, especially in the playoffs, I'm with Chalmers. He came out in the Stanley Cup Finals and won us the cup.
Won the Conn Smythe.
Sure. Yeah, he fucking won the Conn Smythe next year. You know that yet?
Conn Smythe player. Yeah.
Put up 9 points in 38 games. That's fourth line production.
He could be on a projection that be it Fernando Pisani in a couple years when he has that kind of playoff run.
He's only 26.
He came in, and where nobody else was hitting bodies and creating turnovers, he was. And that spoke volumes. And you know what? If I didn't see that out of him, I might be on the other side of this signing, just like, a majority of Oilers fans. But I saw that, and it was a bright spot in an otherwise like brutal fucking 2 games.
I saw someone on Twitter describe the move as, quote, a nightmare.
Oh,
which you have some soft nightmares if this is a nightmare.
Like that is. There's.
I dreamt about zombies this week.
Brownlee, just to wrap up the Devin Shore thing, Brownlee just posted an article at OilersNation.com, and that shows some of the hilarious overreactions one way or the other. And it's just, that's what I love about Oilers fans, though. We're talking about a guy on the fourth line, but you would have thought this was like a monster deal, And that's what I love about Oilers fans.
I might have given him another 25G a year to not be number 14. He'd be like, but I love number 14. I've been 14 since I was 14. I'd be like, I don't know that you're number 14 for the Oilers, Devin, but do you want a 2-year, $900,000 deal to be 15?
Listen here, Devin Shore. If LeBron can change his number every 8 months, you can change your number going into year 2 with the Edmonton Oilers. All right, we're going to talk.
That's the way they sell all those Devin Shore jerseys, just keep changing the number. That's how you get them.
And shout out to the other number 14 who had a big game last night.
He did.
Jordan Everly played very well last night.
He popped a
Islanders, pesky.
How about this for the Islanders too? Since John Tavares left, 0 series wins for JT and 6 for the Islanders.
Yeah. When they were chanting New York Saints, that was gangster.
I love that about Islanders fans. Islanders fans, they can turn that kind of shit from like a press conference into something great, and it's the best. I love them.
I love that the New Orleans Saints have got involved in it too.
Yeah,
which is great.
All right. We got Trent Wilhauk in the waiting room right now. Before I do that, shout out to our friends at Twig and Berries. They got a new store in St. Albert. So you can go look at the clothing, hold it. You can take the nutsack underwear and hold it up to your face and smell it. Don't do that though. I don't think they would appreciate that. Don't do that. Anyways, the promo code is Nation15, gets you 15% off on their website, twigandberries.ca. Trent Wilhauk of Wilhauk Beef Jerky joins us now. Again, this is real life. So we don't do intros or we don't do pre-recording chit chat. Trent, we're just rolling right now. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Great.
Trent,
fantastic.
Hot button topic. What do you think of the Devin Shore signing?
Well, if you're signing him to be your 13th, 14th forward, I don't have a problem with it. If you're signing him thinking he's going to play on your fourth line 65, 70 games a year, then I got a problem with it.
Fair enough. You're just saying the bar should probably be higher this offseason in terms of improving the depth.
It better be. It better be.
You wear many,
that really.
Yeah, you wear many hats, Trent. One of them is a passionate Oilers fan. So before we get into a bunch of different topics,
sure.
Let me ask you this: what should be the biggest goal for Ken Holland this offseason? What should be priority number 1?
2 left wingers. You got to get 2 scoring left wingers. McDavid's become one-dimensional. The only way he's effective is off the rush. As far as I'm concerned, I think the Oilers are a terrible cycle team, and they got to get 2 wingers. Now, we can argue they need a goaltender, they need a third-line center, they need another defenseman, 100%. But depending on Draisaitl and McDavid to score all your points, you're not going very far. And it showed in the Winnipeg series. Yeah. If McDavid and Draisaitl weren't scoring, the team wasn't scoring.
Yeah, that was 100% the problem. You are the king of the beef jerky game in Alberta. Let's just start with this. Tell us a little bit about Wilhauk Beef Jerky. If someone is listening to this right now and for some reason has never heard of it, give us the blanket intro.
Well, the blanket intro is very simple. My uncle and my grandfather started this business in 1964 here in Leduc. We're the 3rd oldest business in town, the oldest in its original location. We've been making beef jerky since we've been slaughtering beef since 64. We were a full slaughtering plant, custom cut and wrap and everything else. And slowly as time wore on, more and more people started eating the product, liking the product. And then in 2005, we moved away from the slaughtering aspect of the business and went more into the promoting the jerky and the sausage, and it's just blown up ever since. And as I'm sure everybody on the podcast here has had the product, it speaks for itself, and it goes all over the place. It's all over Canada. It's all over the world. And, knock on wood, thank you very much. We've been very fortunate.
What is one part of the process one part of the, I don't know if recipe is the right word, but what's one thing that separates Wilhauk Beef Jerky from others?
It's a fresh, moist meat product. It's not dried out. It's, okay. We sit here, we get certain cuts of beef brought in, we cut it, we marinate it, we let it sit overnight, and then we throw it on trays, and it's in the smoker for 55 minutes, and it's got all its flavor, it's got all its moisture, and that's what sets it aside. Now, this isn't a product that can sit in a store for 6 weeks and sit there. It is a fresh moist meat product that needs to be refrigerated and looked after, but that's what makes it unique and that's what makes it so good.
Well, anyone who buys some beef jerky and keeps it in the fridge for 6 weeks or keeps it for 6 weeks doesn't deserve that jerky because it shouldn't last more than 2 days.
There's no way it lasts more than 2 days.
Well, it's funny because every once in a while you get somebody that comes in and says, so how long does this jerky last? And I always say, well, I don't know. And they kind of look at me like I'm kind of stupid. And I'm like, well, nobody's ever been able to tell us. we have no idea.
I got a question about your, you said it's all over Canada and all over, it's international now. What's some of the farthest places you've sent beef jerky to?
Well, see, we got to be careful with that because technically we're a provincial plant. We're not a federal plant. So technically we can't, us personally can't be shipping it all over everywhere.
Oh, I get it.
But like, for example, you'll come in, Chris, you'll order product and you'll send it to, hell, it's gone to Afghanistan. We had a customer up until COVID hit from Norway who would come in and get anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 for the product and take it back with them. And that was happening probably once every 8 weeks.
Oh, so, when the Swedes came here, Trent, when the Swedes came here, we got them a bunch of beef jerky and they still talk to me about it.
Yeah.
They're like, next time, like, get me some. Next time I'm here, I got to have some.
And that's how goofy the regulations are. I personally can't send it, but you can walk into my store, buy whatever you want and send it wherever you want to. Like, it's just, it's weird. Ridiculous.
That is goofy.
Yeah.
Very weird. Beef jerky for me is the GOAT road trip snack. Like I'm going through BC for like 10 days this summer, like golf in different courses. And I'm already imagining like the bag of beef jerky in the center console that rides with you for the whole trip that you're just constantly munching on. GOAT road trip snack.
Oh, it's crazy. Like we get people, we get families that come to Alberta, for example, from BC that'll phone ahead and have their order waiting for them because they plan part of their family holidays to come here to get jerky. Like I said, knock on wood. Thank you very much. It's awesome. We're very lucky. We're very fortunate, but it is some of the things that go on are pretty crazy.
As I said off the top, you wear many hats. The other one is with the Olds Grizzlys of the Alberta Junior Hockey League. That's how we know each other, through our time with the AJHL. How does one get an AJHL team? Like, how does that happen? How do you enter like through the steps into doing that?
Well, you gotta be stupid to buy one. Let's start with that. So just kind of a little bit of a history. Just the Olds Grizzlys were bankrupt. They were on the verge of folding, and a group of guys got together and decided to save the franchise. So phone calls went around to different people, and there was 14 of us that got together in 2018 in August, and we bought the team to save the team. The team was in absolute turmoil, no scouting staff. Just the sponsors had left, the fans had quit on the team, and rightfully so. The Grizzlies were a tire fire for many years. But to answer your question, it was just a bunch of local guys got together and made some phone calls, and my brother-in-law, Curtis Sheptak, who actually, everybody, I don't know if everybody knows, but in 1994 was a 160th overall pick of the Oilers. He played 3 years in Olds, winning 3 AJHL championships and a Centennial Cup. He says, you want in on this? And I'm like, hell yeah. Been in hockey my whole life. So we bought the team and the way we went.
For me, the thing I love about the AJHL, and you mentioned it, like, don't buy one, because usually there's one or two kicking around the league that are struggling, but the ones that are the strongest, like the Brooks, you guys, Sherwood Park, Spruce Grove, they're the ones that capitalize on community, right? Like, you look at these teams, they're going to schools, they're having minor hockey nights, and that's what's unique about the league to me, and even unique, and it separates the AJHL from even the WHL in most markets, is that the AJHL does such a great job of planting its roots in the community and building up a fan base that way.
100%. You got to have 100% community support. And that was our biggest struggle. Like we could sit here and talk about the rumors and the garbage that has been said about the Grizzly organization over the last few years. that, we're still haunted by the previous regime on some cases. We recruited a player here this year, a high-end recruiter out of the U.S. who's a local Edmonton kid. And when he signed with the Grizzlies, he got text messages from people who are like, what are you doing? Why are you going there? And it takes time to redevelop a reputation. And the first thing we focused on is rebuilding our community, our sponsorships, our involvement in the community. Like we built a great relationship with the town of Olds. We're involved with the Boys and Girls Club. We're involved with different organizations to rebuild that reputation, to rebuild that respect that, hey, we're not a garbage organization anymore. We're legit. Have we had our struggles? 100%. And that's where teams like, the successful teams like the Fort McMurray Oil Barons or the Brooks Bandits or Spruce Grove Saints, they really focus on the community involvement. And at the end of the day, everything just falls into place. And once your community gets back on board and your sponsors get back on board, your fan base gets back on board. So now basically at the end of the day, our main focus now is just improving the on-ice product. And one of the smartest things we did this year with the COVID situation, we played 16 rookies every night. And our head coach and general manager, Scott Atkinson, just rolled the lines. Didn't matter if it was a power play, didn't matter if it was a penalty kill. He just rolled everybody because we considered this a developmental year. Other teams were rolling out their number one power plays and playing to win at all costs. Well, last time I checked, there was no COVID Cup and there was no banner at the end of the year. We went into a development model and we're going to be better for it.
For people watching the Stanley Cup playoffs right now, Cale Makar is right now he's the best example of what can come out of the Alberta Junior Hockey League. Was a 4th overall pick of the Colorado Avalanche. Now he was a Brooks Bandit, but still, as someone who's proud to be a part of the AJHL, how cool is it to look at the Stanley Cup playoffs, and how big is it for the league as well to have that there? When you're recruiting guys, be like, listen, this isn't a tier 2 thing. This isn't a whatever you want to call it, a group of guys that just didn't make the WHL. Like, there's good hockey here. There's players who are going on to do big, big things.
Yeah, well, not only Makar, but look at Jacob Bedard-Docker, who just won the World Championship for Canada. What has he played? 8 NHL games this year, or something like that. It's huge for the league. It just gives them more credibility. And when you got a player like Cale Makar, who's also nominated for the Vezina Trophy, it just shows that you don't have to go to the Western Hockey League to develop and get noticed. Like here we are, the Olds Grizzlys, and I always use this example because people say, well, if you go play in Olds, that was one of the things that people kind of throw in our face. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter if you play in Olds, doesn't matter if you play in Brooks, it doesn't matter if you play in Okotoks or Fort McMurray. Scouts are going to see you, and if you're a good hockey player, scouts know who you are, and it doesn't matter what community you play for or where you play, and we're seeing more and more NHL scouts in the building every night watching our games. And, that's how Dylan Holloway got discovered. Makar was a huge draw. Jacob Bedard-Docker, same thing. The AJ is a great league. And you know what? It's sad because, people are always so focused on the Oilers and the NHL and everything else. Well, they're missing great hockey in their own backyard. I would sooner sit and watch an AJHL game than I do than the Oilers. And I have Oilers season seats. And I'd sooner go to Spruce Grove and watch, and I'm just saying that because I do live in Leduc. I'd sooner go to Spruce Grove and Camrose on a Thursday night and watch the Kodiaks or the Saints play than I would watch the Oilers.
With that tie-in, though, how cool is it for you as an Oilers season seat holder to see Holloway and Savoy coming up through their system here? Because there's going to be some AJHL blood on this roster soon.
Oh, 100%. Like Holloway, I think, is going to start the season in the American Hockey League next year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him up at Christmas. And I think people don't realize how good Holloway really is. And then saying that Savoy too. Savoy's a one-shot scorer, and I firmly believe in the next couple of years he's going to shock a lot of people in Edmonton on how good he really is.
He's one of those guys where you hear about him a little bit. And I've told this story before on the podcast of going to watch him at rookie camp in Sherwood Park and hearing like, oh, he's 16, but he shoots the puck like an NHLer. And I was kind of like, yeah, no, he doesn't shoot the puck like an NHLer. Then I watched him at 16. I was like, That's not even that much of an exaggeration. And by the time he was drafted, he already had that NHL level shot too. It'll be really, really cool. The last thing I had written down was I was going to say you can pick one. Either you're with a cold beer in a jam-packed Rogers Place watching an Oilers game, or you're in Olds for a jam-packed regular season opener. Which one would you sooner fast forward to? But I'm assuming the answer is Olds.
Well, it's going to be Olds. I enjoy junior hockey. I enjoy the speed of it. I enjoy the mistakes of it. Like the NHL is so systematic nowadays that there's really no creativity. Where in junior hockey it's run and gun. It's excitement. It's
it's mayhem at times.
It's absolute mayhem, and kids are going to make mistakes, and that just creates the excitement of it. And it's really sad because people do not know how good this hockey really is.
100%. I know Jay was probably going to say this as well, but from me, I mean, you're a business owner, both beef jerky and hockey team wise. Congratulations on, I mean, we're getting to the end of this pandemic, hopefully, but congratulations on just making it through the last year and a half. Cause I'd imagine, some tough times, but congratulations from me on continuing to prosper through it.
Well, we've been very fortunate because, and I don't know how, but we were classified as an essential business, and I hate using that term because as far as I'm concerned, every business should be classified as essential. Who are you to decide what is essential and what isn't when it comes to people's livelihoods? But in saying that, we pulled through. Did we have our struggles along the way? 100%, because you're not only at the mercy of your own business and your own staff and possibility of people getting sick or anything else, but being a beef supplier, what happened down in Cargill there last year really affected us as well in regards to getting product in and that kind of thing. So like there were some scary times and you don't know from 1 week to the next if you're going to be open or not, if somebody gets sick or close contact or anything like that. We were very fortunate. We never had to close or anything like that. And once again, knock on wood. I got a lot of friends, business owners that were forced to close down because of the pandemic, and my heart breaks for them. But we were very fortunate, and we're thankful that we got through this.
Trent, I just want to say COVID was fucked up for a lot of people, especially had a big impact on our business. And I truly want to thank you sincerely for sticking with us during this, because it allowed us to kind of keep the lights on during a pretty dark time. So we really appreciate that support that you've given us for the years, and especially during a very trying time for yourself for that. So real honestly, a heartfelt thank you.
Well, no, thank you. And thank you guys as well, because I firmly believe that you have to look after the people that look after you. And all you guys are customers in my store, and you've supported us through all this. So, and that's just the way we do business. We look after those that look after us. And as far as being a partner with the Oilers Nation and that kind of thing, it's been a great fit for us. Like, people come in all the time and say, "Hey, I saw your thing on Oilers Nation," or "I heard you talked about on Oilers Nation," or stuff like that. It's been great, and no complaints. It's been awesome. So thank you guys as well.
Awesome.
One last thing from me. Oh, sorry, buddy.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I'm hoping we could talk about. We'll see kind of how things kind of transpire for the rest of the summer, but I hope we can talk about working together again on a golf tournament.
Actually, I was actually going to bring that up. When is the golf tournament? I'm telling you,
we don't know yet. I know. We don't know yet. We just kind of got to see how things play out, because we want to make sure we do things the right way and whatnot. So hopefully we'll know if it's a go or no go in early July.
Yeah, no, the golf tournament's fun. It's a great time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always fun every once in a while. Watch Gregor tear up as well when he speaks.
Oh, yeah.
so it's I shouldn't pick on Jason.
No, it's worth the price of admission. You can count on it. The odds of a Gregor cry when he gives the speech for his charity, you can probably put the odds at minus 10,000.
Speaking of Gregor and his charities, if there isn't a better quality human being than Jason Gregor, I'd love to meet him.
Oh, he does so much.
Yeah. Like he's unbelievable. And I actually went to school with his brother Colin. I know Colin. and that whole family is just quality individuals, and it's just, you know, Jason's done so much work for Edmonton and area, and he's like I said, he's just an unbelievable human being.
Yeah, 100%.
Charles, what were you going to wrap up with?
So this is my last question, and then depending on the answer, it leads into a request. How closely guarded is your process? That of cutting the beef, like getting it in, cutting it, marinating it, cooking it.
Put it to you this way. I always give what I call is the 5 cent tour. Like you come into the store and I know who you are, and you kind of want to take a quick peek at the tour, the process. I have no problem showing you, but you'll never see the recipe. That recipe is more guarded than the KFC recipe. I'll tell you that.
So the reason I ask is like, smokers are popular right now, and I got myself one. I don't fancy myself to be any type of pro, but I am very interested in the process of it. And like, I think that the Oilers Nation real life crew should come down and just like, I don't know, hang out with you and go through your place and show us, because I'm fascinated by it. Like, your product's different than any other beef jerky I've ever had.
Well, so, I think the one thing I can say is we don't cheap out in regards to the quality of meat that we use, where a lot of places, because let's face it, beef is expensive, and a lot of places use certain cuts and cut it way too thin, and they dry it out and all that stuff. Where we use the tender cuts, we marinate it, which is key because it adds moisture to the product, and we don't overcook it. We don't dry it out. It's like I said, it's in the smoker for 55 minutes, just getting lots of smoke and just cooking it, and that's the key. Like, there's a whole bunch of great recipes out there. You know, there's a lot of different places that sell jerky, that make jerky that are very tasty. Like, there's some that I like. I will never talk bad about another person's business or their recipe, because there's some out there that I really like. Just probably the biggest difference is the cut of meat.
Yeah. Beautiful. Because I love it. I think it's great, because the one thing I don't like is a very dried out jerky. It makes my jaw hurt. I don't want to eat it anymore. It's just no good. So you're like the perfect product for me. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're very we've worked on this product for a long time, and we've had some hits and misses, and we think we nailed it down. We get people that come into the shop every once in a while and say, well, why don't you have a Cajun jerky? Why don't you have a teriyaki or a jalapeno? Pick a barbecue, pick a flavor. And I always just say, well, you know what? When you got the best one there is, why do you need more?
Yeah, famous brands don't have to go and change it. You don't see KFC changing their secret recipe, do you?
Exactly. Yeah. Like you've hit the jackpot with one. Why do you need 3, 4, 5?
Exactly.
That's just the way we look at it. Some people will say we're crazy, but you know what? We've been successful, and we appreciate that, and we don't take it for granted, and that's just how we do business.
It's the opposite of building an NHL team. Like, the Oilers have the Wilhauk Beef Jerky of players in Connor McDavid, but they do need 11 or 12 others underneath him to make it successful. You just need the one.
100%. Yeah, You know what? Exactly. Like I said, we hit the jackpot with our original recipe, and as far as I'm concerned, you don't overthink it. You keep it simple, and you just don't fuck it up. How's that for an answer?
I like that. That's a good spot to end. Just don't fuck it up. Trent, thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey,
thanks, Trent.
Hey, thanks guys for having me on. I enjoyed it, and anytime. It's awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful. Do it again soon. That's Trent Wilhauk from Wilhauk Beef Jerky. That was a lot of fun. Good guy.
Sounds like
passionate.
We're getting a tour. Am I right?
Yeah, Chalmers weaseled us into getting a tour of the facility.
Well, that means you get to eat turkey. Like, that's a good deal.
Exactly. And the sausages, man. The sausages are ridiculous good.
No, honestly though, like I just it's fascinating, because you can go to any butcher, and as a guy who has a smoker, you go, what's a good cut of meat for jerky, and they'll give you something that's pretty cheap for price, and they'll cut it for you and stuff, and you put it on, and it's just not the same, And so just to see like a guy who's perfected something that can seem as simple as beef jerky. I mean, I would like to see it. I would like to go in and check his place out. Not to mention,
I would like to eat it.
Yeah.
All right. I talked about the goat road trip snack. Yeah, no, I yawned though. I don't know why. I'm actually not even that tired. Best road trip snack. If it's not jerky, what are you guys going with?
There's two things, and Chalmers is going to agree with me. Spits and jerky is good, and then the roadside entree or the driving highway entree of choice for me is an A&W team burger. It's like the only time I ever eat one.
Yes, I was just about to say there's nothing better than when you're going on a road trip somewhere. Gasoline Alley, Red Deer, A&W. Whew. That's like the elite road trip stop.
It is number one road trip food. I never eat a teen burger with onion rings and a root beer unless I'm on a road trip. And when you're on a road trip, maybe back and forth. Like it's so, and the whole family wants it. It like just signals road trip.
I'm pretty sure the last time I had a teen burger was when I don't know where we were coming back from, Jay, but I'm pretty sure that was the last time because we stopped at A&W.
Yeah, it's probably coming back from Calgary. Either one of two things: the pond hockey trip, or coming back on the bus from Calgary when we stopped.
Something like that.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's. I never have A&W in the city, but when I'm on the highway, it's all I think about.
Whenever I go to
all of our parents. Yeah, sorry.
Whenever I go to my sister's lake, which is just on the other side of Alberta Beach, I'm always there's an Arby's on the way, so I always stop for a beef and cheddar.
Oh, that's nice. For some reason, and this is very niche.
How dare you?
If I go ice fishing,
that was for Chalmers.
And I go west of the city. Anytime I do that, I'm coming in. I feel like after ice fishing, every time, 100 times out of 100, I'm getting Arby's on the way in.
And then 100 out of 100 times, you're getting diarrhea an hour afterwards.
Jesus,
how dare you? How dare you?
That is not
feeding.
I heard the ad for Arby's new brisket sandwich, and I really want to try that. Actually, I'll fuck with that.
A brisket sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll find a way to fuck that up.
Chalmers.
Jesus
how dare
Christ.
you, man?
Wow, jeez,
Calm down, Chalmers.
A beef and ched, large curly fries, and a large Pepsi is an elite meal. As I'm driving to the lake.
Bag Milk, are you the one who says you have a buddy who they buy like 50 at the beginning of the month and freeze them?
No, well, that was back in the day when I was in high school. I had a buddy because on Wednesdays at McDonald's, you could get 49-cent cheeseburgers. So his dad used to go in and buy 50 of them, and then he would put them in the freezer. So if we ever went to his place after school or whatever, he would just chuck you a frozen cheeseburger.
And like microwave it?
And then you would what?
Yeah, just microwave it. Just microwave it, and it would come out the exact same.
Oh, that's damning. That is damning. Oy. All right.
Damning. Oh no! Oh no! My hot dog just barfed. Oh no!
Oh.
Other high-end road trip snacks. I'm a big candy guy, like a bag of candy. Great.
Me too. I'm murder candy.
Or a big container of blueberries. Just quick, fresh, refreshing, popping in blueberries while you're going. High-end road trip snack.
Yeah, blueberries is good. Yeah.
You know, blueberries is good too, but that reminds me of when I was a kid, my parents used to always buy cherries. Like if you were driving to like Radium or Invermere, like you'd buy a big bag of BG cherries, and then I'd just eat so damn many of them that I'd get car sick.
You get a bellyache for sure.
I just killed a bag of cherries. Lately, what I'm eating a lot of is cherries. I'm killing watermelon and pineapple. The three of them, I just can't get enough of it right now.
Yeah.
Love pineapple.
Especially when you cut it up yourself, the whole fresh, it's the best.
Hey, so I was talking to my wife about this the other day, and it's something I used to do as a kid, like religiously. I used to maybe eat this like 4 times a week. But did any of you ever used to eat grapefruit where you would cut the grapefruit in half and then take a double-sided serrated grapefruit knife and actually like physically cut each piece out of its peel, sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top, and then eat it?
I still do that.
My wife had never, she looked at me like I was the biggest idiot in the world, saying like, nobody does that. I'm like, absolutely, I did that like all the time.
I still do that, except if I didn't have a knife, I would just try and get at it in a spoon and then eventually spray myself in the eye with grapefruit juice.
So the grapefruit knife is, it's serrated on both sides and it has a small little bend in it at the bottom, so that when you're cutting, it's actually cutting the bottom too. You can clean those things right out. And then at the very end, you got all that juice in there and you just drink.
I need one of those knives because I love grapefruit.
Dude, okay, good. Your Chuck's never heard of this.
No, I don't eat grapefruit. Grapefruit flavored things aren't really my jam. My girlfriend loves them though, so I'll pass this on to her. I'm sure she'll crush it.
I don't drink like grapefruit beer, or I don't drink like grapefruit bubblies or grapefruit, like pretty much anything else. But that with a little sprinkle of sugar is delightful.
Really nice, refreshing.
I can see it. Yep.
You know what? As I've gotten older, I've gotten really into fruity beers.
Yeah.
Chalmers.
Oh yeah, fruity beers
I love
are
a
great.
good sour. Oh, a good sour.
Oh, I'm hit and miss. I'm hit and miss on sours.
Oh, there's this,
but I do like fruity beers.
Like a nice
blackberry sour?
raspberry beer or something like that. I'll murder one.
Yep,
So ever since I've stopped drinking my Red Bulls, I've realized I'm not a coffee guy. I've gone through this whole transition of like trying to find stuff to drink that I like that's cold and fizzy in the morning that's not like super, super bad for you. And yesterday, I had my first bubbly. Now, I had two of them because they were two different flavors. What is your guys' view on the bubbly? Are we fans? Are we not fans?
I just crushed one. I just crushed a grapefruit one.
I've never had one without alcohol in it.
I'm not a big carbonated water guy.
I just recently got into it. I have 2 to 3 bubblies a day, or a bubbly like comparable.
I'm surprised you guys don't get yourself a soda stream then. Just do your own bubbly.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've thought of that, but it just doesn't interest me.
So right now I'm on the sparkling ice. I understand it's not as healthy as the bubbly, but
I like those.
They're great.
Stain your teeth.
Cherry. Oh, don't worry about my teeth. I had the cherry bubbly yesterday, and dude, it tasted exactly like Bix cough syrup mixed with club soda. It was
like that.
Awful.
No, the cherry bubbly tastes like if you got cherry Lipsol. It tastes like that.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
The only flavors so as a bubbly expert, I'll tell you the flavors to stay and work with is grapefruit. Just get through it if you don't like it. It is good. Blackberry is really good. I kind of don't mind the strawberry.
The other one was lime, and it was gross.
Oh yeah, lime feels like when I drink it, it's going to give me heartburn. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And that's. But if you stay in the lane of blackberry and grapefruit, like those are my two favorite. Like blackberry being my favorite.
Fair enough.
I'm entering Slurpee season, so that's where I'm at.
Oh my God, buddy. You know what I'm getting really rattled about is all these new fucking flavors. Like, get out of here with these new flavors, dragon fruit, every single type of Mountain Dew. Like, nobody wants that shit. Like, we don't need
just don't drink
soda.
them.
Buddy, but they're taking away the ones that I like. I like a Dr. Pepper, a root beer, a Coke, a Orange Crush, and a Grape Crush. And a lime. Sorry, I do like a lime too. But now they don't have that anymore. They have cappuccino Slurpee. We have I am getting fucking, and then when you go to a place, you committed to get a Slurpee there, you pulled in, you're in the store, the Coke is out of order, the root beer is out of order, but you know what's working? The dragon fruit, the Crystal Light one is working.
Yeah,
the Mountain Dew green, the sour green apple is working. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing here? Slurpees were perfect. Coke. Always got to be Coke. Can't be Pepsi either.
See, Chalmers, you would appreciate, like, if you went to get me a Slurpee and you just said, what flavor do you want? I could just tell you anything brown and you would get it.
Oh, God, yeah. 100%. Cherry. Like, where did Cherry Coke go? Cherry Coke is it's the perfect Slurpee.
Elite.
It's the only one I can put all the way through and I don't feel ripped off. If I'm having Coke, I'd like to have a little orange in there. If I'm having maybe some grape. I don't know. If I'm feeling crazy, maybe a little Dr. Pepper in there as well. But the cherry Coke, I can drink a full medium cherry Coke, like
cherry Coke,
not feeling ripped off. It's a perfect flavor, and I can't find it anywhere now.
It's a crime.
Like to the point where I'm going to go to my local guy who I've gotten to know really, really, really well. My guy Bobby over here, and I'm going to say to him like, "Hey, stop fucking around. Like, let's get back to our origins here. OG Slurpee guy."
Hey, Slurpee guy, remember who the fucking customer is there, big guy? Next time you're going to fill out dragon fruit on a goddamn order form. Piece of shit.
Exactly.
Wow, I love it. Chalmers, do we share the same Slurpee shop?
Well, yeah, the Circle K in Rio.
Yeah.
I'm
every
upset
time
because
last time I went in there, it was just all the Slurpees were a color, not brown.
I know.
I'm upset because the
talking to
place
management.
I generally go, they got rid of one of the machines. So they just halved my choices entirely.
That's bullshit.
And while Coke is generally there, the other 3 slots are filled with nonsense.
We need to start. So we have Nation Beer. Can we partner with like Petro or 7-Eleven and get Nation
Yes.
Slurpee? But
Yes.
it's just
But
Coke.
if you-
Yes.
So like, so like
Yes.
Shell makes a nice product, right? Max and 7-Eleven are pretty much the same consistency, same thing. If you're drinking it fast, you're gonna get more ice.
And that's actually like the coffee thing with Tim Hortons and McDonald's. Is I heard Shell actually bought the 7-Eleven old Slurpee recipe.
No, they didn't.
What?
You're lying. Because they're totally
You're
different.
He's trying to pull a sneaky one.
Yeah, I was trying to pull a fast one on you.
Shell and Husky have the same consistency. They share a recipe, but Max and 7-Eleven, they also share a recipe. I'm going to shut them out. If you guys know of like Terwilliger Town Center, Max, Circle K or whatever it is now, it has 12 flavors. That's elite.
Whoa.
And they always have cherry Coke. If you want another good one,
that's elite.
Subway Max on 170th and 69th Ave also has 12 flavors. Elite.
All right.
170th and 69th. Where the hell is that?
174th and 69th Ave.
Yeah, it's just off
That's a
174th and
Subway and a
69th.
Max now?
Yeah.
No. But we used to call it Subway Max because the Subway was right next to the Max. Remember?
Oh, that one.
Used to be the worst Subway in the city. The owner was such an asshole.
Yeah. You would ask him for you'd put like one little strip of mayonnaise that looked like he could hardly get out of the bottle. And he'd say, "Can I get some more?" And he'd like look at you and give you another little tiny squirt, and then just fold up your sandwich. And be like, "Why do I even come here? Why do I come here?"
Mayo's not coming out of your paycheck, bro.
Like, can I get pickles on that? He put like 2 pickles on a 12-inch sub.
You'd be like, "Hey, man, you're lucky the place next to you has good Slurpees, or else I wouldn't fucking be here right now."
Yeah.
All right. I gotta wrap this
I know you
up.
want to wrap up, but can we
Yeah, I do.
talk about one more thing? I just want to say one more thing. I got a guilty pleasure that I am not afraid to say right now.
This is disgusting.
Okay.
Does it involve the
I am-
Slurpees? Please, no.
No. I am doing a lot of gardening. We started a vegetable garden with some fruit, and it
nice.
is, and I cannot stop trying to do stuff with it. And everybody keeps telling me don't touch it, but then I really like gardening. It's like watching that shit. So now I got this Instagram page, and I don't remember what it's called, but basically what it does is it shows a guy plant a seed and then water it, and then time lapses it like 100 days or 75 days or 150 days in like 30 seconds. It's fascinating. I don't know, man. If you guys,
want the immediate results. You don't have the patience.
I do. I'm so impatient.
I come
so
from
impatient.
I like to hear this. It's relaxing. I come from a big gardening family.
Oh,
What do you grow in Chalmers?
Yeah.
So we've got like 7 different types of tomatoes that one of my a painting company that I use. One of the guys there, I've known him for years and years, and he had 30 extra tomato plants. So I took like 15 of them. So I've got 7 different types of tomatoes. We've got like cucumbers, peppers, beans, lettuce, strawberries. I know I'm missing something, but it's all in there. And so I found out a new trick that I went to. I'm doing a job at a big house out in the Capilano area, and they have this huge garden. And you know what they do? They cut the water bottles off. They cut the water bottles in the middle, and then they stick the mouthpiece in the ground and then fill it up with water, and it slowly releases the water into the plant.
Wow.
Gardening people, they're innovative.
I'm learning so much goddamn stuff.
Look
Okay,
at
Chuck, we can wrap up now.
Yeah, I was trying to find the Instagram
gardener.
I know. I'm just so bored. It's raining. I got nothing to do now. We're not going to get to go golfing.
You don't think you're going to get to go golfing?
Well, we'll see. I golfed last night. It rained the whole time. It's got to be
I'm
committed.
not like you.
You're not built for the outdoors?
No. Okay, truth be told, all the shoes, I wear sandals 24/7, even in the winter. And all the shoes I own are like very breathable, like not waterproof. If I walked today, which we're going to have to if we play, I'm not going to be able to use a cart. If I walked, my socks will be drenched by the second hole.
And nobody likes wet socks, Tyler.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, the radar is not looking great, but I'm not a weatherman. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Episode 289. Quickly, before we go, shout out to our friends at Manscaped. Promo code REALLIFE gets you 20% off and free shipping. For Bag Milk, Wanye, Chalmers, Jay, our friend Trent Wilhauk and Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Big shout out to him. This has been episode 289. Yeah, great guy. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back on Monday. Where's my button? There we go.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from.